We are back at it again. Chapter 3 has just been released, and this time I actually have some tea. You can kind of see, I don't know where I'm going to put it on this screen. Here! So we are drinking some Turkish tea today. I don't think this is as dark as it should be. It's gonna put more sugar. Chapter 3 has just updated like 5 hours ago, so it's pretty new for me. I was so excited, but I wanted to wait to set everything up. Okay, I hope everything works. Let's go. This place hasn't changed a day since I left. Your eyes adjust to these sudden bursts of light, squinting at a silhouette that seems to be the source of the voice. A man stands proudly at the doorway with two figures by his side. He examines the room. Yep, there we go. My apologies, but the palace is not receiving any guests while the Empress is away. Despite Nora's words, the man walks further into the courtroom. His gait exudes confidence. His companions trail closely behind. They carry the same aura and pride. Is that what you're telling everyone? His chuckles low, like a soft rumble of thunder. No need for the charade, Azizam. I know the truth. I know about the attempt on the Empress's life. How is she doing, by the way? Nora's brows knit together. Her curiosity takes hold of her. You have to admit, you are curious too. Though, before she can inquire any more, you watch Sinbad step in front of him, blocking his path. General Nora has made herself abundantly clear. There are to be no guests while the Empress is not present. Watch... Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that new layer. Watch your tone, Div. You speak to the Crown Prince of Ginaham. What? Everyone's eyes, including yours, widen with shock. Nora looks at Alibaba with a glare that demands answers? They don't even know? He seems to be as lost as everyone else. To study Zazan, all that he offers are his lips pressed in a thin line, expressionless otherwise. So, okay, if this guy is... I like that transition. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Zahak ibn Parizad, Ifrita's dear older brother. But wasn't she the only one that survived? Alibaba brings his emerald gaze down. Nora turns back to the group, her mouth poised to speak, but no words come out. Zakut clears his throat, stepping forward. Is no one gonna, like, mention how, the coincidence that the Empress has fallen ill while this new, supposed unknown lineage springs out? It's nice to see you again, Sahak. Of course he knew! Confusion continues to buzz between the champions, Anka and yourself. Zazan remains quiet, eyes focusing anywhere except for on the prince. Why does he seem embarrassed by this guy? We used to spend time together at the Summer Palace when we were children. A beat passes before a small grin pulls on the corner of Zahak's lips. The smile does not reach his eye. A fake smile. You were all very young and very keen on getting into trouble, except for Zazan, of course. All eyes turn to the high priests, who have remained deathly silent since the prince has entered. Sahak's smiles grow, joy finally reaching to the single crimson eye. It seems that some things never change. Zazan folds his hands behind his back, his expression an empty book. There is hostility in his voice when he speaks. Why are you here, Zahak? I'm like, I'm now like, you get him, Zazan? Zahak shrugs, exchanging a glance between his two companions. Do you think I would try to seize the throne while my sister is dying and the serial killer is on the loose? A vexatious twinkle appears in his eye. I did not know you thought so poorly of me, Zuzu. Zazan's eyes close, an exasperated sigh leaving his lips as the nickname falls into the air. He sees Sinbad glance over to Alibaba, whose eyes dance with amusement at this new revelation. Please explain your sudden reappearance then. So at least Zazan's, picking up on it. Sahak's eye darkens, and as if beckons, the two retainers bring their attention onto Zazan. Sahak's lips twitch, his eyebrows rise, his face twists into anger. Watch your tone, Zazan. Your fate lies with me. My fate lies with no one, Sahak. You have no authority over me. Anka brushes past you. Oh, what are you doing? Proudly approaching the two quarreling men. She is just as perplexed as everyone else, though she sounds annoyed when she speaks. Can someone please tell us what's happening? These vague remarks are getting quite troublesome to keep up with. Sukut's eyes widen Anka's bold request, but Sahak simply laughs. I am here to prosecute the one who hurt my little sister. So... Your heart skips a beat, blood running cold. You try to swallow the fear bubbling in your throat. Is this it? The end for you? You can feel your heart beating violently against your ribcage, your eyes brimming with tears as memory flashed before your eyes. Your fear is palpable. Zizan, you're pulled from the icy depths of mortality where your memories linger. You follow the gaze of everyone in the room. They're all staring at Zizan. What do you mean? Nora's confusion breaks through the calm waters of her expression, her eyes wide with disbelief. Sinbad shares her shock. Alibaba stands in silence. Allow us to explain. A pale lady, her hair blacker than any darkness you have witnessed, Vanta black, steps forward. Her looks are like tar against fresh water, contrasting her alabaster complexion. She tilts her head, training her wide, unblinking eyes at you, her smile permanently fixed on her face. The other also steps forward, a complete contradiction to her dark and tall companion. Her curled, stark white hair is tamed within a bun. Her black eyes are an endless void. Not even the burning light of the courtroom shines in her eyes. She is the one who speaks. I am Vida. This is my sister, Simon. The woman with tar hair gently bows her head in greetings, finally tearing her eyes away from you. Peace upon you all. More sugar. Simon addresses the group, gesturing to Zizan, who is uncharacteristically quiet. You catch everyone focused on her, intensely interested in what she has to say. Several moons ago, I had been informed of the murders happening at the palace. Of course, the description of the magistrate's corpse caught my attention. Nothing was taken for them except their hearts. It was such a fascinating discovery. Pardon my interruption, but how do the deaths of a few magistrates pertain to me, a priestess of Skrios? It seems you have neglected your teaching responsibilities, Zizan. A proper ritual of Skrios can only be completed by sacrificing a heart, preferably one of great power. We believe that Zizan has made these offerings in hopes of using Skrios, power to strike down Empress Ifrita. It did not work, of course, for Ifrita is a daughter of Parizad, and therefore a child of Skrios. Zizan, you killed innocents to feed your lust for blood and power. This is insanity. All I've ever done is serve Ifrita, and I... Zizan's calm demeanor breaks, his eyes pleading as he gazes across the sea of faces. His attention rests on Zahak. Morbid happiness crawls into your shoulders, but you try to shake it off. You can't help but revel in the poetic justice of seeing the man who vehemently accused you of murder be the one who had committed the crime. I don't buy it, though. I played Ace Attorney. After everything I have done, this is my repayment? Zahak merely tilts his head, grinning. Arrest him. Simon snaps her fingers. Chains form from thin air and wrap themselves around the high priest. At first he struggles, but seeing there is no point, Zizan drops to his knees, his head hanging low. It is wise of you not to struggle, but it also reveals the truth. I don't know, I feel like maybe the reaction he's having right now is implying that he was doing some shady stuff, but it wasn't for this. Zizan would never do such a thing. He cared for the people. He cares for Ifrita. Do you see him struggle or deny the accusations? Zizan takes a labored breath, and you begin to smell the familiar stink of rotting and burning flesh. He's right. I did it. I killed him. He struggles when he speaks. Yeah, his voice is forced, as if he is vomiting out the words. I don't buy it. You watch... Wait, what? You watch blood pool on the gold floor beneath him. Sinbad's divine attitude is watched over with a wave of betrayal. He looks at the other champions, expecting a response of resistance, but neither Alibaba nor speak, and his brows knit with frustration. I refuse to believe that. Believe what you wish, Div. It will not alter the truth. Despite Vita's tone snapping like a whip against a tense air, Sinbad does not back down, his eyes narrow, scrutinizing the woman. Suku places a hand on Sinbad's shoulders, advising the Div to step down. The smell of burning flesh is more prominent now, and you find yourself placing a hand over your mouth and nose to keep it from threatening you further. It's nauseating. Simin, dis-moi Suzanne, please. The pale woman approaches, and with an effortless snap of her fingers, Suzanne forms her place with a cloud of black smoke, his withering body disappearing from the courtroom. These guys are not to be messed with. Can I leave? I mean, I don't want to leave. But Zahak now places his full attention on the champions and yourself. I will be taking over from here on out. You were all dismissed from your duties. You have no jurisdiction of the champions of the Empress, even if you are related to her by blood. Ifrita's brother sighs, his fingers raising to pinch the bridge of his nose. Vita steps in, acknowledging the silent signal from her companion, and apparently they've spent a lot of time with each other. Zahak is more prepared to bear the burden of rule than any of you are. It is wise for you to step down from your position, not only for the sake of the Empire, but yourselves as well. What does that mean? Sinbad angers, flares! Sinbad's mad! And Suku's grip on his shoulder tightens, stopping the Div from lunging forward. How dare you threaten Ifrita's champions? Is it enough for you to punish Zan, and now you're threatening us too? Suku pulls the Div back, nearly throwing him towards the back of the gathered room. Sinbad lands into Alibaba's chest, and before he can step forward, the Spymaster hand rests on his shoulders, keeping him there. I apologize for his behavior. It is only the champions who must leave, correct? I may stay. You watch a wave of betrayal wash over the group. Annika's eyes close, her appearance dimming. Zahak plays with the thought before finally responding. You are in charge of Rita's care, yes? Suku nods. Very well, you may stay. Everyone else, he looks at the group, must leave as soon as they have gathered their things. Ugh. Vita and Simon will help you. I will go and deal with Zazan. This is bad, I'm already finishing my tea. Your throat tightens at the words. It could have so easily been you, wrapped in chains and transported to the prison, awaiting your execution. Although, you should have been happy with the turn of events. There is something that is awfully wrong. Simon steps forward and places a frigid hand on your shoulder, sending a chill up your spine. Her unblinking eyes examine you and then the princess. She speaks in a soft yet uncanny tone. I will escort you to your room so that you may gather your things. That's a lot like saying you will leave now. Before you can respond, she begins to lead you out the courtroom, leaving the rest of the champions behind. You swallow the fear in your throat, wondering if you're going to see them again, or if they will meet the same fate as Azan. You look to Anka. Her demeanor is eerily calm. She turns to you and flashes you a charming smile. A wave of reassurance washes away your anxious thoughts. Simon guides you to your room, the golden doors opening as she approaches. You wonder what sort of magic she possesses to be able to achieve such feats. Teleportation and commandments of material objects are hard spells to master, and yet she is able to cast them so effortlessly. Perhaps she is the reason why Zahak was successful in hiding away from the prying eyes of the human dictators. The familiar walls greet you, the afternoon sun cascading into the room and lighting the atmosphere with a warm glow. You feel all your troubles flow off of you. You abandon them at the entrance of the guest room. Anka doesn't take a moment to appreciate the relief and the tension of the courtroom. Instead, she begins to gather her things into a traveling bag quickly. I was like, well, I'm out of here! You soon join her, putting away your belongings into the travel sack that you were given. The silence is thick, almost suffocating. I would make small talk, so, guess we're going home, right? Are you excited to going home? Anka looks up from what she's doing and offers a smile. It's small and warm. Yes, but I think I'm gonna have one more adventure before returning home. She bites her lip. looking away from you as her cheeks begin to glow with heat. Would you care to join me? Yes! You nod, returning her smile. Like, what else am I gonna do? Go back to my magister job and file paperwork for the rest of my life? Yes, I would love to. I'm glad. There isn't anyone else I'd prefer to get in trouble with. Wait a minute. I'm going to change if you don't mind. Zeybel nods her head, turning her back to the two of you. Anka takes extra precaution and steps behind a finely decorated folding screen to change there. Oh boy, are we gonna see a new outfit? She returns in a different dress. The sleeping gown she wore is folded neatly in her hands. You are the Princess of the Redam, correct? Anka delicately places the folded clothes onto the bed. Yes, I am. Princess Anka Senemon. Simon tilts her head, a red eye examining Anka. I hear you are a brilliant young woman. Is this true? I suppose so. Yes, that's me. I've been giving a thorough education and have access to the oldest library of Genahim. It would be a shame if I did not use those gifts of luxury. You have a lot of wisdom for someone so young. You should take care it does not get you into trouble. For wisdom and experience are two very different things, wouldn't you agree? Yes, I would agree. Simon smiles, her hand gesturing to the door which opens at her commands. Very well. Shall we be off then? You follow Simon through the various corridors of the palace. The halls had already become familiar from the short time you've been there, providing a comforting barrier between you and the whole ordeal from the masquerade. If it were not for the champions, you doubt that these walls would provide the same feeling of comfort as they do now. Your mind wanders, and you begin to wonder what happened to Zan. After everything he had done, there was a part of you that wished for it to be him. One thing is for sure, the whole ordeal is bizarre. The way Simon roams the halls, knowing every nook and cranny, only feeds your suspicion. But is this something you wish to involve yourself in? One issue after another, stacking up until it collapses on top of you? Well, yeah, what the hell? But this does affect the future of Genahim anyway, so as a magister, your visions are in the center of this whole mess. Since the visions of the masquerade, everything began to crumble beneath your fingers slowly. You had to ask Ifrita if she could hear those voices, or if it was merely coincidence. Surely it would answer every question that parades through your thoughts day and night. If you ever get the chance to speak to her, that is. Your escort is silent the entire time, barely making a sound even as she moves past the halls and the main entrance. Wow, we're actually out. The palace's lush decorations are gone now, leaving the golden walls bare. It burns brightly in the afternoon sun. The jewels in the eyes of the various imposing beasts and monsters are glittering in lights. You don't get the opportunity to look at the palace's intricate and old design. Simon had rushed you through the front gardens to the main gates. It stands there imposingly, the spikes at the top of each bar reaching high into the heavens. Just like the doors to your bedroom, the gates open at Simon's command. I bid you farewell and safe journeys. Anka gives Simmons a polite smile, inclining her head ever so slightly in her direction. We appreciate the gesture. Shall we be off then? Wow. Is this a dream? Because, wow. I don't know. Okay, wait. This does seem too much like a dream.